I'm Vive McKinder, and welcome to Simplicity. I think one of the most important parts of our service is the consultation. I want to introduce you to Marlene, who is our beautiful model, and today we're going to go through the important steps of doing a great winning consultation. I have this strong belief that beauty is way beyond the mirror. It's about capturing the essence of who somebody is. So I'm going to take you through the steps that I think are so critically important. The key questions to ask, how you should do it correctly, and also the things you need to know about what the client does not want. Now, Marlene is a professional model, and I have to sort of say this because it's so important. You get to work with some of the most amazing hairdressers in your professional world.
I do. That's very helpful sometimes because I wake up, looking like this, and then I go on set and they transform me into this beautiful, beautiful being with amazing hair, which doesn't happen on its own.
No, and I know that as a model, you come prepared for a shoot with your own hair extensions.
I do, yeah. I've kind of collected them over the years because a hairdresser would always put extensions in me, and they put the clip-ins in. And then I would ask, do you mind if I keep them? And they would give them to me. And then over the years, I've just collected them, and now it's really helpful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, you can see that Marlene has naturally very fine textured hair. So we're going to go through the process right from the very beginning. And like us all, we have our professional life and our private life. So the number one thing I look at is lifestyle, the image and the personality of my client. So if I was to ask you about your lifestyle, we know that you're a model, you travel the world, but there's another side to your life. When you're not in front of a camera, how would you describe your lifestyle?
It's I think like everyone else's life. I mean, I go to the gym, I try to be healthy, I try to eat healthy, I enjoy traveling, I do fun things like going out, I study acting, and that's pretty much, my fiance and I, we love to travel, so that's just one of the main things. Whenever we have a weekend free, we kind of just go somewhere local, or we try to take a plane somewhere. So
okay. Now, obviously, being in the fashion business, you're acutely aware of what's in and what's out. If you could describe your style, like from like classic to edgy to conservative, how would you say you as a woman feel most comfortable?
I feel definitely most comfortable being more on the elegant side, being more. I am stylish, but always on a more elegant and classic side.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not the edgy, freaky girl that has, half of her hair cut off and comes with crazy leather outfits.
Okay, cool. So that's very important to know. You've got to meet the client where she is today. So we're talking about a client who has a very diverse lifestyle in terms of travel, on set doing photo shoots, but also on the private side. You've got a whole other world going on. What I also think is so important is being age appropriate. It's very important to make a client look fresh and young, but we know that some clients, if they're 18, they want to look 21. And then it seems like after we kind of hit 25, we want to look a little bit younger again, back to that 21-year-old age group. So I think it's really important to be sensitive to how young and youthful you want the look to be, especially when you get into mature clients like me. I don't want to look ridiculous. So it's very sensitive and important question to address. So in terms of like how young and fresh and so on, where would you like to kind of sit in that realm?
I mean, I used to always look older when I was younger. Now I'm 25, and now I think, I would love to look young and fresh and not too girly, not too adult, just kind of my age group.
Very important. See, that's a critical question to listen to. The next thing is we have to look at bone structure. And when we're looking at bone structure and the face shape, the number one thing when we're looking at facial framing is to take the client's hair away from her face and look to see the hairline and to look and see the bone structure. So with Marlene, obviously, beautiful face shape, and she's more on a classic oval. So an oval face shape can basically do anything. It's the most classic of all forms, but you want to look at the proportion here. 1, 2, 3, and she's well proportioned. So that is looking horizontally at the face. Do you want to close the face or open the face? Because remember, hair is a frame to the bone structure. Hair will either emphasize or disguise a look. So it's very important to understand that. So we have the opening of the face this way, and we also have the closing of the face this way. And when we look at the proportions of the face, we have this one panel in the center, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're dividing down through the face. Now, I use my hands for facial framing, and we'll see here that when I bring my hand across the forehead, I shorten the face. If I tilt my hand this way, you can see that we are opening one side of the face. I love to, on a hairstyle, create a triangle somewhere, because a triangle is a very, very powerful shape of opening the face. So even in negative space, for example, if I'm doing something like this, where I'm bringing the fringe across and opening this way, there is my triangle. So the side parting is critical, which side of the face we're going, working with the cheekbones, working with the jawline, closing the face, opening the face. Asymmetric, looking at the lengths this way. So these are the important things. Obviously, the more you close down a face, the heavier the face can look here. When you work with the cheekbones versus against the cheekbones, lifting, not lifting, lifting, not lifting. We're going to be adding hair as part of the service today, so we need to be really mindful that we don't crowd the face and that we keep the balance and the integrity there, which is extremely important. So the next thing that we want to look at is the body type. And Marlene is lovely and tall and slender. How tall are you?
5'9.5".
In my next life. And what dress size are you?
Between a 2 and a 4.
Next life. I just need to be stretched. So obviously, in body types, we have an apple, pear, or a banana. I have been the entire fruit bowl in my life, but Marlene is a banana, long and slender. Now, word of caution. Some women, when you lengthen their hair and they're already tall, you make them look really, really long. So you've got to be mindful of how much length there is in relationship to the body type. Ideally, the head should fit into the body 7 times. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that. That is interesting.
My head fits in my body 6 times. Not perfect at all, but yours will be right. So body type is extremely important. The next thing that we want to look at is the hair texture. So we already know that Marlene has very fine hair. It's color treated. And what we want to do today is add thickness and fullness. So we have the coloring here. So this is our Simplicity coloring with this beautiful range of colors. So when we're looking here, we need to ask a critical question. Do we want to blend? Do we want to add accent colors, which would be also sensational? So, and because of this whole process we're going to go through today, it's so quick and so affordable, we can actually do one thing on this service, and the next time Marlene comes in, we can do something completely different, which is a great, great thing. So when we're looking at the blondes and we look through here, we can see how we're matching. And do we want to make it more blonde, or do we want to have dimension into the hair? So I'm going to lay these colors through. And now it's very important to explain, as we're talking about hair texture and how we're going to be adding more volume to the hair, about the hairstyle. So we're going to today work to where Marlene's hair is, and we're going to actually come below that point. So I'm not going to be cutting Marlene's hair. I'm going to be working from the length that she has. So I want to now show Marlene all the different options that we have. So here, for example, this is very close to your natural color.
Yeah.
But here, we've got some highlights. So we can actually do some nice tonality.
Yeah.
So we've got our highlight option. We've got our absolute matching, or we can do contrast. So when we're looking at contrast, we can add depth and we can add lightness. So which do you like the most? Do you like the idea of having some depth on the underneath going to light?
I think so.
Yes?
I think because I'm already fair and my skin tone is light, and I think that would kind of, if we would choose this, it would be beautiful, but I think I need some dimension and some depth. Otherwise, I just float.
Yes, and that's a really good, important point. You don't want your client to vanish where her skin tone sort of is too milky and there's no contrast between skin tone and hair color. So that's a really, really important point. Marlene, I want to show you how the hair addition attaches. We peel back, and here is the adhesive. This will lay a 1/4 of an inch away from your scalp so that your hair still has flexibility to go up and down, so you can still put your hair in a ponytail. And look how sheer that is. And what is interesting is it's flat.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
Totally flat, so no bumps.
Yeah,
no
perfect.
bumps, no clips, nothing ripping and tugging on your hair. Our other option here, which I'm very excited about, is this graft. Now this graft, you can see it's got a little scalloped edge, and again I'm going to take away some of the tape and I'm going to lay it across my finger. Here, this is actually knotted. So can you see here, this is like a soft edge.
Yeah.
This is ventilated, so it's actually knotted and you have some height.
It gives you some
lift.
Yeah,
so this will go near the front in your fringe area, give you the fullness that you need. And yesterday I was blown away when I was watching how easily these are removed.
Yeah.
The solution is just gently applied at the base here. You wait a second or so and it just gently slides off as easily as it's coming away from my fingers. It's pretty extraordinary. So this is a unique product. This is a patented product and very amazing. So it's important that I show you the options. So what we've done, my friends at home, we've looked at color choices. We also have texture choices, whether it be smooth or with a wave. And then we look at the application itself, whether we're going to be using some grafting or whether we're actually going to be working with our hair extension. This is all built into the consultation to discuss this, and of course price point would come in then, and based on what type of salon you have and what type of services you have, you would be price pointing appropriate to your business model. But this is an extraordinary tool, as you're going to see, for us being able to give clients amazing full hair, fullness or length. So we've spoken about lifestyle, the age of our client being age appropriate. We've spoken about bone structure and making sure that the facial framing is correct. We've also spoken about the hair texture. We want to make sure that we're really enhancing the hair texture. The other thing that we want to do is be very mindful of growth patterns and hairlines. You want to be sure that you're working as much as you can with the natural fall of the hair. Very, very important. The color, we've spoken about color. You may have clients that do not want to have their hair chemically treated, so we can add accents of color, whether they be natural or vibrant, to give something a little bit different. The texture service here, because we're working with human hair, we can obviously apply heat, curling irons to the hair, which is fantastic. And the other thing we want to look at too is the maintenance, because maintenance is important. Do you have a client who is high maintenance or low maintenance, which goes right the way back to our lifestyle. Obviously, Marlene, you have a busy lifestyle.
I do.
And you have a lot of demands in your life. So you want something that's easy.
Yeah.
You want a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
You want to be sure that your hair is not being damaged.
Correct.
And very often what happens with the individual bonds, there's so much stress put on just on a few pieces of hair. With this, it's so even and well distributed. And your hair, which is fine, is not going to be compromised, which to me is extremely important.
Absolutely.
And you know, bear in mind, Marlene as a model is having her hair done every single working day. Her hair goes through more than hours. So she is very savvy as a client, and therefore she knows what we're talking about here. So now we've gone through the key points. Now we're going to talk about what our style options are. So what we're going to do today is give more fullness through the fringe so that we can sweep the hair across. We're going to actually build more volume and length through here. We're going to keep the haircut very, very simple so that Marlene can editorially style her hair, whether it be putting it up in a loose ponytail. She needs style options. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun and a total transformation. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Good.
So excited.